The world will not hand you a banner and declare you worthy. There will be no marching band, no fanfare, no one to hold your armor as you step into the arena. You will stand at the edge of action with only your decisions to carry you. That is the brutal clarity. It is the moment you realize that contingency plans, safety nets, permission slips, and handshakes are illusions dressed up as guarantees. If you wait for someone else to light your fire, you will grow cold. If you wait for an ally to appear before you act, you will be left watching others take ground you let slip. The only reliable force you possess is the will you cultivate in silence. It is your discipline, your routines, your unreadable calm. These are the weapons that cannot be taken from you. To be prepared for conflict in life means to prepare your mind to move without applause, to make hard choices with no cheering section. People will cheer after the war, perhaps, but during it you will be alone with the decisions that determine survival. That solitude reveals character. It reveals whether you were waiting for rescue or building a life that tolerates no rescue at all. You must train like a man who expects the ground to shift beneath his feet. Training is more than the sharpening of muscle and skill. It is the quiet engineering of routine until reaction becomes ritual. When the storm arrives, your body must move while your thoughts remain a compass. You do drills the world will not respect because drills are private contracts between you and an outcome. You lift when no one watches. You plan while others are entertained. You rehearse discomfort until pain becomes a familiar instrument and not a ruinous surprise. This rehearsal creates a fortress of habit that the chaos cannot breach. Without it, you are theater, passionate in words, but flimsy under pressure. With it, you are structure, calm under strain, effective in the cruelty of real tests. The true champion practices in weather that would make the casual quit. That is the only preparation that matters. The rest is hope, and hope is a fragile currency in a hard world. Commitment is the invisible boundary that separates men who build from men who merely dream. It looks simple when written, but it requires you to break 1,000 comforts. Commitment means you do the small, ugly tasks on days when the stars are not aligned. It means showing up to the grind with a face of iron and hands ready to work. True devotion to an objective will cost you weekends, luxuries, and some friendships. It will require you to refuse every easy exit. You must understand that sacrifice is not a one-time headline. It is the continual subtraction of what does not serve. Every small denial is a brick in the structure you intend to stand inside later. Those bricks accumulate silently until the edifice is visible to all. Nobody will applaud the laying of each brick. They applaud the finished wall. So lay them. Lay them with care. Lay them when the weather is bad and the temptation to stop comes dressed as rationality. Your future self will stand on what you refuse to surrender today. Strategy wins against chaos every time when it is executed relentlessly. Having a plan is not enough. Execution is the brutal translation from concept to consequence. You must design steps so precise that when the shock hits, your response is automatic. The mind that has rehearsed contingency is not surprised. It navigates. Strategy requires that you forecast with humility and adapt without flinching. Many confuse movement with progress. They stay busy while the world rearranges the board behind their back. Real movement is purposeful and ruthless in pruning the superfluous. It demands that you know which engagements matter and which are distractions designed to waste your energy. The man who masters this reduces life's unpredictability by increasing his readiness to act with cold deliberation. He does not wait for permission, for timing, or for validation. He moves the moment advantage appears. That is the calculus of victory. Guard your mind like a citadel, because it will be the first thing other people try to occupy. There are predators in culture who want nothing more than to make you frantic, to scatter your attention and hollow your resolve. The attention economy is not neutral. It hunts the undecided, it lures the idle, and it replaces effort with spectacle. Protect your hours. Protect the rituals that prime you to perform. Practice selective exposure. Reduce the noise that keeps you reactive and reduce the rumors that make you doubt. A disciplined mind is not indifferent to life. It simply refuses to be a puppet for every impulse that passes by. Make your calendar holy. Make your daily practices unassailable. When the crisis comes, your mind will not betray you because you taught it to be singular in purpose. In that moment of pressure, others will fracture. You will remain intact because your internal architecture has been built intentionally and with rigor. The ethics of conflict demand that you prepare morally as well as materially. When you engage, your choices will leave marks. They will redefine who you are in the mirror of the world's judgment. Decide now what kind of man you will be in the test. Will you break when insulted, or will you uphold a code that is concrete? Your integrity must be sharpened until it is as useful as your blade. People will attempt to bait you, to pull you into deeds that make victory hollow. The quickest route to ruin is to win while losing yourself. Hold a standard that makes any victory worth the cost. Let your reputation be simple and severe. That way, when the wind of scandal blows, your roots will not loosen. The moral framework you adopt now will be the lens through which all future outcomes are judged. Build that lens deliberately. Do not trade it for expedience. Every alliance should be predicated on utility and reciprocity, not sentimentality. Human bonds are useful, but they are not guarantees. Trust must be earned through consistent action. The knave believe that proximity equals loyalty. That is a costly error in times of trial. Closest people can be the first to bend when self-preservation calls. Test bonds before you depend on them. Observe behavior under minor pressure and extrapolate. Those who melt under small heat will demolish under heavy flame. Surround yourself with people who add capacity to your mission, not comfort to your ego. When the decisive hour arrives, your network should provide competence, not drama. Partnerships built on mutual competence survive where friendships built on nostalgia do not. Treat selection of allies as strategic formation. Your life depends on the fidelity of those you allow near your plan. Resilience is the muscle that grows with disciplined hits. It is not forged by fair weather endurance. It is forged by repeated commitment to rise on the days when your body wants rest, when outcomes are uncertain, when the crowd is loudest with doubt. You must cultivate the habit of recovery. You will be knocked down, that is certain. The unknown is whether you have trained to get up with intent or to get up with pity. The former makes you relentless. The latter keeps you fragile. Learn to be your own first responder. Patch the wound, learn the lesson, return to the field. Cycle this rhythm until your rebounds are faster and more precise. Those who master recovery are the ones who turn catastrophe into momentum because they have learned how to translate pain into forward motion. Information will be your ally if you treat it like ammunition, not decoration. Amass knowledge that sharpens your decision-making. Learn the mechanics of the domain you intend to dominate. Become a student of failure as well as triumph. The wise gather data, test assumptions, iterate quickly, and ruthlessly discard what does not serve. Never be content with surface-level understanding simply because it flatters your confidence. Deep competence neutralizes chaos because it makes improvisation intelligent. Farewell to laziness when it comes to learning. Your enemies will adapt, so must you. The advantage lies with the prepared mind that can absorb new reality and update strategy faster than opposition can exploit old patterns. Your readiness will be measured by your appetite for uncomfortable truth and your capacity to use that truth. Control your narrative by controlling your actions. Words are cheap and loud. Results are quiet and undeniable. You will be judged by what you finish, not by the speeches you give beforehand. Keep your intentions private until they have structural weight. Let your work create the story you want. Do not hand the microphone to brokers of distraction who profit off your noise. Silence confuses the faint while it sharpens the focused observer. When you move with intention undercover, you build momentum unnoticed until the point of leverage arrives. Then the world must account for your existence, because the facts you have produced cannot be rewritten. This form of discipline is almost cruel in its effectiveness, because it denies the usual routes to recognition. It replaces celebrity with consequence.